Hi, it's Ty the Real Estate Guy here with another video to help those of you who'd like to create a passive income and become financially independent. In my last video, I shared the #1 millionaire secret to building wealth, which explains why most millionaires put their money into real estate. One of the keys to becoming a successful real estate investor is understanding the millionaire mindset. Things that are common sense to a millionaire can be a complete mystery to those who've had little to no financial education. For instance, many millionaires spend money like they're poor, while poor people often spend their money like they are rich. One of the first keys to understanding how the millionaire mind thinks is by learning the difference between assets and liabilities. So, in today's video, I'm going to compare assets to liabilities and explain how the right assets will make you wealthy and why liabilities will keep you from retiring. Many of the top financial advisors believe your home is a liability, but is it? I'll give you my take and explain why maybe it's not. So let's start by defining assets and liabilities. Assets are things that make you money, while liabilities are items that cost you money. Simple, right? Not really. Many define an asset as something useful or valuable that you possess. By this definition, a car or jewelry could be considered assets because they have value, which means you could sell them and make money. So while this definition may have some merit, it's not how a millionaire real estate investor would define an asset. If you want to become financially independent, you need to find multiple ways to build a passive income. You've got to view assets as tools that will give you cash flow, preferably on a weekly or monthly basis. So a real asset is something that generates cash flow. Here's a list of assets: stocks, bonds, royalties, intellectual property, and of course real estate. But this does not include your personal home. Why? Because each month you are paying for it. Your home is costing you money, and therefore it's a liability. Even if your home is paid off, you still need to pay property taxes, insurance, city bills, utilities, and HOA fees if you have them. So, to define an asset more specifically, I want to make sure this is really making sense to you. Assets are things that will pay you dividends, interest, royalties, or rental income. Building a passive income is the key to financial independence. You need to create multiple streams of income. For me, I'm a real estate agent, which is still my main source of income, but I also have different types of real estate investments. I'm in the stock market, I've written books, and I even have part ownership in a fishing boat in Alaska. I also consult and train in many different aspects of the real estate business, but mostly in the new home construction industry. Now, what's a liability? Think of it this way. If it's costing you money, especially on a monthly basis, it's a liability. Examples of liabilities are things like a car, a boat, phone, computer, TV, or any other item that you really don't need, like toys. Many of the liabilities I just listed usually come with a large upfront cost, and many leave you with a monthly bill too. Some liabilities, things like your personal home, cell phone, internet, and cable, will have a monthly bill pretty much forever. Things like homes, cars, and boats have high insurance and maintenance costs. If you're serious about becoming financially independent, you've got to find a way to remove or greatly reduce your liabilities, especially the ones that you're paying for on a monthly basis. Really, you need to stop buying liabilities and start investing in assets. Next time you're about to buy something, think to yourself, do I really need this? If the answer is yes, ask yourself, can I get it for less somewhere else? If the answer is no, do your future self a huge favor and don't buy it. A house can be an asset or a liability. The home you live in is a liability. Why? because it's costing you money every month. A house is still a great investment because you need to live somewhere anyways, and you should build some good equity. The difference between the home you live in and a rental property is that the investment property is making you money each month, which makes it an asset. So by rule, a home that you live in is a liability. This means most of the world's top financial advisors would tell you to pay off your home as soon as possible. It almost always makes sense to remove debt, but in case of a home, your primary residence, it doesn't make sense, and here's why. If you're like most Americans, your mortgage rate is probably somewhere around 4%. You will not find a lower interest rate on a loan. Also, when it comes to investing in real estate, cash is king. So, you really shouldn't put more than 20% down. Keep any cash beyond that on hand, which will allow you to buy another investment property sooner. If you pour all of your money into paying off your mortgage, you won't have any cash to buy investment properties. Instead, I recommend some simple tricks that will help you pay off your home more quickly. Some quick payoff plans require that you put little to no additional money towards the mortgage. If you'd like to learn some ways to pay off your mortgage fast, click on the link below labeled How to Pay Off Your House Fast. In my last video, I talked about the power of owning a home and how much just one home can increase your net worth. What if you had 3, 4, 5, or even 10 investment properties? Can you imagine what your net worth would increase to, especially over time? That's why I teach the 3-10 real estate strategy. If you can just buy 3 homes over the next 10 years, you will have set yourself up for a great retirement, especially if you're only in your 20s or 30s. Okay, so now we know the difference between assets and liabilities, which begs the question, is it okay to have liabilities? Of course it is. We all have hobbies and things that make life worth living. We can't just remove everything we love about life and invest in real estate, but we do need to limit our spending. So here's my take on the largest liability of them all, your home. My advice is to buy a home for yourself first, but if at all possible, find a way to make it an investment property also. To learn more about this strategy and your options, check out my video, The #1 Millionaire Secret to Building Wealth. I'll put a link to that below. So clearly buying a home for you to live in is a liability, but it's a necessary step and the foundation to building wealth. Even though your home is costing you money each month, you're still building equity. Home values can fluctuate, but in the long run, home prices have always gone up. Even though your home is costing you money each month, in the long run, you should still come out way ahead, especially if you use my strategy of buying a place with space that can be rented out. Be wise when you buy your first home. Find something affordable, and if possible, put 20% down. So here's a fun question for you. Can your lover be a liability? The answer is a resounding yes! Am I telling you to dump them? Maybe. Actually, no, I'm not. But you have got to get them on board. If your significant other spends money as fast as they earn it, or faster, you don't have a chance. This is a team effort. You both need to sacrifice and commit to creating a better, more secure future. If you're single, you only have yourself to commit, and you only have one person to blame if it doesn't work. As you receive each paycheck, you should divide it up to help you save more quickly. See my video on creating a savings plan. I'll put a link to that video below. Okay, so there are 2 reasons most people never acquire assets. The #1 reason is the lack of education. A lot of people out there don't have a clue how to make money work for them. Instead, they spend their entire life working for money. Then, of course, there's a large part of the population that have the money, but not the know-how. If you already own a home and have cash on hand and your money is just sitting in a bank, it is time to buy an investment property. Don't allow fear or your lack of knowledge stop you from purchasing an investment property and creating a secure financial future. The second reason most people never acquire assets is that it usually takes time, patience, and major sacrifice to accumulate the cash to buy assets. For instance, a few $1,000s in your 401k or the stock market won't pay you much, but after 10 years of investing, even if it's just 10% of your income, you should be receiving a pretty nice dividend. As far as an income-producing property goes, a lot of people out there don't have the patience to save, sometimes for years, and they're not willing to make the necessary sacrifices. Here's a little scenario for those of you that have a car payment. Let's think about that little $500 per month car payment and be honest with ourselves. You could have purchased something less expensive. For most people, this $500 monthly payment adds stress and obviously hurts your ability to buy income-producing assets. How would it feel instead if you were earning $500 each month from a rental property? That would be a $1,000 swing in your favor. That would equal $12,000 per year and $120,000 just in 10 years. You can't tell me that that wouldn't change your life for the better. Not only is it nice to be receiving $500 per month, but it also gives you the ability to save more quickly and buy another investment property that will also pay you. Reminder, the monthly income is great, but don't forget about the equity you're building too. Over time, this adds up, and in a hot market, it will add up fast. This is all part of the 310 real estate strategy. Once again, it takes time and money, but you can do it. Okay, now you know the difference between assets and liabilities. If you change your mindset and start collecting assets while removing and avoiding liabilities, you'll soon be purchasing your first piece of real estate. The goal is to put enough assets in play that you can live comfortably from the income they are creating. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could replace the money you earn by going to work with passive income? Think about that for a moment. Then start making a plan with the determination that you will make the necessary sacrifices to make this dream a reality. Hopefully this video has helped you. When I first learned this concept nearly 20 years ago, it absolutely changed my life. If you're willing to make some sacrifices and work hard, it will change your life too. I promise. If you have questions or think this information was useful, please leave your comment below. Honestly, I would love to hear your thoughts and I would love to hear your stories. Otherwise, please give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel by clicking on that little red button below. To me, that is the ultimate compliment and I'd appreciate it more than you know. I'm also on Instagram. You can find me at Ty the Real Estate Guy. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching and best of luck to you.